GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action. Live from the GMNA News Center, this is the Lunch Break News Hour.
Good afternoon, Montreal. I'm CJ Waterhouse. Tonight we'll hear how Harmonium is reuniting on stage for the national holiday, a concerning link between a military biker club and the Hells Angels, and the latest flood cleanup efforts in Pierre Fon Roxborough. Over to you, Jeff.
The Milan Street Art Festival launches Saturday, showcasing 50 local muralists, live performances, and diverse food trucks along St. Laurent Boulevard from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Admission is free, and the city has set up a temporary parking zone on St. Laurent with complimentary shuttle service from the Guy Concordia metro station.
Local schools participate with student art displays, and a community mural will be unveiled Thursday evening, painted collaboratively by residents and professional artists.
Lots to get to. Let's begin our lunchtime news journey together, right after this vibrant street art celebration today. Good morning, Montreal.
Yesterday, the legendary folk rock collective Harmonium took the stage in Montreal for the first time in more than 40 years, marking a rare reunion that dovetailed with the province's national holiday celebrations. The concert unfolded amid a city draped in bright fleur-de-lis banners, a visual tribute to the Fête Nationale du Québec that adorned public squares and storefronts. Band members who last performed together in the early 80s delivered a set that wove classic tracks with the festive atmosphere of the holiday. The audience, spanning several generations, responded enthusiastically, singing along to beloved verses. Organizers said the event was intended to honor Quebec's cultural heritage while offering fans a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Ticket demand had surged in the weeks leading up to the performance, reflecting the enduring appeal of Harmonium's music across generations.
Police say a motorcycle club composed of active and former Canadian soldiers is now operating alongside the outlaw Hells Angels, raising alarm for law enforcement agencies. The Sûreté du Québec and military police disclosed that the group, which identifies itself as a biker club, has been spotted in Quebec working with Hells Angels members who are actively recruiting new riders. Officials stress that the convergence of trained military personnel with a known organized crime syndicate creates heightened security concerns. Investigators are reviewing the club's activities and recruitment methods, and both agencies have launched inquiries to determine the extent of the collaboration. Authorities are also coordinating with federal security services to monitor potential links to broader criminal operations. The police warn that any infiltration of armed forces personnel into criminal networks could threaten public safety and undermine confidence in the armed forces' integrity.
Yesterday, the Historical Society of Montreal formally urged Mayor Soria Martinez-Ferrada to secure the return of the Samuel de Champlain statue that was recently taken down in Ontario. The Society's letter, delivered in the early afternoon, cited the monument's historical significance to the city's founding narrative and asked municipal authorities to arrange its retrieval and reinstatement in a public space. Officials have not yet responded, but the request adds pressure on the mayor's office as it navigates cultural heritage concerns across provincial borders. The Champlain statue, a bronze depiction of the explorer who founded the settlement that became the city, was removed by Ontario officials amid a broader review of colonial-era monuments. Montreal's heritage groups see the removal as an opportunity to preserve the artifact within the province's own historical context.
The City of Montreal will confer honorary citizenship on beloved Canadians forward Brendan Gallagher this afternoon at 3 p.m. in a ceremony at City Hall. The symbolic honor, reserved for distinguished individuals, celebrates Gallagher's contributions on the ice and his connection to the community. Officials say the award reflects the city's tradition of recognizing athletes who embody local pride. Family members, teammates, and city dignitaries are expected to attend, and a brief program will highlight Gallagher's career highlights and charitable work. The ceremony will be open to media, offering a chance for fans to hear the forward's thoughts on his time with the Habs and his hopes for the upcoming season. The honorary citizenship adds Gallagher to a short list of locals who have received the civic distinction over the years.
Air Canada's 25% discount sparked a costly surprise for a Montreal couple who rebooked a flight early Wednesday. The promotion was applied, but the airline's dynamic pricing algorithm raised the base fare, so the new tickets cost more than the original purchase. Pricing experts said dynamic pricing adjusts fares in real time based on demand, inventory, and other factors, allowing a discount to be offset by an upward shift in the underlying price. In this case, the couple's reservation, booked after the sale went live, ended up more expensive than the fare they had previously paid. Consumer groups are urging clearer disclosure of how promotional rates interact with dynamic pricing, and Air Canada has not commented on the incident. Regulators have also been asked to examine whether current advertising practices sufficiently inform travelers of potential price fluctuations.
Later we'll hear how Emma Maltese signed a 2-year deal with the Victoire, plus a quick look at today's weather. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
Welcome back, everyone. Hope you're ready for more. Now let's turn to Jeff Laflemme for today's local stories right after this.
Emma Maltese has inked a 2-year contract with the Montreal Victoire, the defending champions of the Professional Women's Hockey League. The forward, who spent 3 seasons with the Scepters, signed the deal on June 23rd, adding another local star to the title-holding roster. Victoire officials said the agreement reflects a commitment to keep the team's core intact as they prepare for next season's schedule, which will include regular home games at the Bell Centre. For fans, Maltese's presence means more opportunities to catch high-level women's hockey without leaving the neighborhood, and local businesses can anticipate the usual boost in traffic on game nights. Families often plan weekend outings around the games, and schools sometimes organize trips to watch the action, turning the arena into a community hub. The signing closes a busy off-season for the club and gives the squad a clear lineup heading into the upcoming campaign.
Plans are underway for a brand new tennis stadium right here, featuring a retractable roof that will let fans enjoy matches rain or shine. Tennis Canada unveiled the project Tuesday, June 23rd, saying the venue will meet the growing demands of the professional circuit. The arena will sit in Montreal and is designed to host higher-level events, giving the city a modern stage for international competition. Officials noted the roof will open for summer breezes and close when weather turns, ensuring uninterrupted play and a comfortable experience for spectators. Construction is expected to begin later this year, with the goal of completing the facility in time for upcoming tour stops. The addition aims to boost local tourism and provide a new gathering spot for families and tennis enthusiasts alike. Local businesses hope the stadium will spark new opportunities for jobs and community events.
Heavy rainstorms on Monday and Tuesday flooded dozens of homes on Fox Street in the Pierrefonds Roxborough borough, marking the 3rd time the area has been submerged this year. Water rose fast enough to engulf appliances, furniture, and even parked cars, leaving residents wading through ankle-deep to waist-high water. By Wednesday, families were already pulling out soaked sofas, disconnecting damaged washing machines, and moving vehicles to higher ground. Local utility crews worked through the night to restore electricity, while municipal workers set up temporary pumping stations to drain the streets. The repeated inundation underscores the neighborhood's vulnerability to intense precipitation, a pattern officials say is linked to recent climatic shifts. As cleanup continues, households face insurance claims and the prospect of repairing structural damage, while neighbors lend tools and assistance to speed the recovery.
On June 20th, torrential rain triggered flash flooding across the West Island, inundating dozens of homes and prompting urgent response from municipal authorities. City officials confirmed the event marked the 4th flood affecting the same neighborhood since 2017, with several residences experiencing repeated water damage. In the wake of the disaster, the City of Montreal and West Island municipalities announced a coordinated plan to install long-term flood mitigation infrastructure. The strategy includes creating sponge parks, engineered low-lying green spaces designed to absorb excess runoff, and constructing retention basins to temporarily hold stormwater. Planners say the new features will be integrated into existing neighborhood layouts over the coming months, aiming to reduce future flood risk for homeowners. Affected families are now assessing repairs and insurance claims, hoping the new systems will prevent another repeat.
Intense rain over the weekend of June 20th and 21st drenched the western part of the city and the South Shore, sending water into hundreds of homes. Streets turned into streams, basements filled, and many families were forced to evacuate as floodwaters rose rapidly. Residents on the west side and in the Rive-Sud suburbs pointed to municipal drainage failures, demanding the city take full accountability. City officials, however, stressed that the deluge exceeded normal capacity and that responsibility for flood mitigation is shared among provincial agencies, developers, and homeowners. Emergency crews worked through the night to sandbag vulnerable areas and pump out water, while power utilities restored service to affected blocks. The event underscored how a short burst of heavy precipitation can overwhelm infrastructure, leaving dozens of households without safe shelter and prompting a reassessment of flood risk planning.
Now let's turn to the forecast and see what weather's bringing to our lunch break.
A rising ridge and a swift southwest, jet stream keep Montreal dry and warm under clear skies. On this date, the all-time high sits at 30.2 Celsius, set in 2016 during a lingering June heat wave that pushed temperatures into the mid-30s across the province. The all-time low is 11.3 Celsius, recorded in 2015 when an unexpected Arctic surge knocked the thermometer down to single digits. Climate normals place today's high near 24 and low around 17, so we sit comfortably below the historic peak, yet far above the coldest mark. The live radar map is completely quiet across the province, with no echo signatures moving toward the city. A high-pressure ridge aloft is suppressing lift, and the southwest jet stream is steering any distant disturbances well east of the St. Lawrence. With no moisture streaming in, the sky will stay clear for the remainder of the day. Turning now to today's outlook. At noon, the city basks in clear skies and a comfortable 20 degrees, humidity sitting near 69%, and a light southwest breeze at 3 kilometers per hour. A near-average pressure system is nudging upward, tightening the cap on rising air and reinforcing the dry conditions. Overhead, a southwest jet at 107 kilometers per hour at 5,688 meters reinforces the ridge and keeps any frontal activity at bay. Temperatures will climb to 24 by mid-afternoon before peaking at 27 under a brief overcast veil, then easing to 24 as the sun sets. The UV index stands at 6, and wind will gust to 20 kilometers per hour from the south later this afternoon. No precipitation is expected, and there are no active weather alerts. Friday brings a modest high of 22 and a low of 16, with overcast skies and a 30% chance of rain as a weak trough nudges the ridge. Saturday brightens to a clear sky, high 24 and low 16, as the ridge strengthens. Sunday remains mainly clear, high 25 and low 17, offering a pleasant stretch of sunshine. Monday continues the dry spell with a clear high of 27 and low 17, showcasing the ridge's peak influence. Tuesday shifts back toward moisture, overcast with a 40% rain chance, high 27 and low 20, as a southwesterly disturbance taps the jet stream and reintroduces clouds. Forecast. And that's your weather. Remember, the lunch break is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on Amazon Music or wherever you get your podcasts.
We'll check today's traffic, preview what's on across the city, and dive into the chamber spotlight on Lambert and Fils. We will be right back.
Watch the local sunset tonight at 6 p.m. for all your local Montreal news.
At 10:05 a.m., the network is clear. Autoroute 15 runs free in both directions, as does the Descaries Expressway and Autoroute 40 eastbound toward La Vieille. Boulevard St. Laurent, Rue Shairbrook, and Rue St. Denis show no slowdowns, and the bridge over the St. Lawrence is moving at normal speed. That said, the afternoon will bring the usual build-up. Expect moderate congestion on Autoroute 17 near the interchange with Boulevard des Laurentides as commuters head toward the North Shore. Downtown, traffic on Rue St. Catherine and Rue Peel tends to thicken afternoon, especially around the University District and the Place des Arts corridor. The southbound lanes of Autoroute 15 near the Descaries Junction often see a slight crawl as the evening rush approaches. If you're heading west on Autoroute 10 toward the airport, anticipate a gradual increase in volume after lunch, but nothing beyond typical peak hour patterns. Keep an eye on the clock and allow a few extra minutes for the downtown core.
Canada's largest street food festival is back, parking 40-plus food trucks at Les Premiers Vendredis across Montreal. Free admission means you can sample global flavors while live music fills the streets. Cirque du Soleil's Echo exhibition has set up shop inside Time Out Market Montreal, offering an exclusive behind-the-scenes look at the troupe's most iconic moments. It's a chance to see the artistry that powers the show without buying a ticket. If rain is falling, head to Time Out Market Montreal now for 5 reasons to make it your go-to spot, from free kids activities to a surprise Cirque performance that brightens a drizzly day. Finally, the legendary Dobie and Andy has opened a new outpost inside the market, serving its famed Cantonese barbecue to hungry Montrealers. It's the perfect excuse to gather friends for a smoky feast. Don't miss these tasty and artistic treats while they're on. And now here's Jason with sports.
Here's the latest on Montreal's hockey heroes and future prospects. City officials will recognize Canadians forward Brendan Gallagher with honorary citizenship during a ceremony at Montreal City Hall later today at 3 p.m. Celebrating his impact both on the ice and in the community, CBC Sports NHL reports. Goaltending legend Carey Price has been elected to the Hockey Hall of Fame, joining fellow Canadians great Patrice Bergeron among the 2026 inductees. CBC Sports NHL confirms, marking another recent milestone for Montreal's storied franchise. In the 2026 mock NHL draft, the Canadians are projected to select forward prospect Tommy Blale with the 28th overall pick, moving up one slot after a penalty to Ottawa. Habs eyes on the prize notes.
Lambert and Phil's in Myland has been feeding the neighborhood with crusty sourdough, flaky croissants, and sweet brioche for over 3 decades. The family-run bakery now feels the pinch of new United States import tariffs on flour and butter, ingredients that travel across the border to keep their ovens humming. Those higher costs threaten to raise prices on the everyday treats that locals count on for their morning coffee. It's a reminder that global trade decisions can echo through a single street, reshaping the rhythm of daily life in Myland. For Montrealers, Lambert and Phil's isn't just a bakery, it's a communal kitchen where generations gather over shared dough and stories. And later, we'll celebrate Harmonium's reunion on stage for the national holiday, a musical homecoming you won't want to miss.
Coming up tonight at 6, the local sunset. Your neighborhood, your city, your news. From City Hall decisions to the stories happening right on your street, we cover what matters most to Montrealers. Join us tonight at 6 p.m. on gmna for the local sunset, Montreal's evening newscast.
On the lively terrace of the St. Lawrence Market, the smell of fresh bagels mingles with the hum of conversation as fans in blue and white gather around a portable speaker. Among them are schoolchildren clutching handmade signs for Victoire de Montreal, and a handful of former teammates sharing steaming cups of coffee. I'm here with Captain Marie-Philippe Poulin, who arrived today with a smile despite the right knee injury she sustained at the Milan Cortina Winter Games. She told us she's been working with the team's medical staff, doing gentle stretches and listening to the encouragement of the crowd that has turned the market into a pep rally. One of the volunteers, a retired nurse, handed her a red maple leaf badge that reads "Stronger Every Day," a token that sparked an audible gasp of admiration from the gathered fans. When Poulin lifted her leg to show a modest improvement, the cheers that rose felt like a wave of hope. Her message was simple: the road to recovery is long, but the love of this city makes each step lighter. We'll keep cheering her on every step of the way.
On a crisp Saturday afternoon along Rue Rachel, downtown Montreal, a sea of performers and spectators gathered for the annual Quebec National Holiday Parade. Musicians in bright uniforms, dancers twirling with ribbons, and a brass band from the local high school wound their way down the cobblestones, while families lined the sidewalks, their faces lit by the flutter of blue, white, and red flags. The march paused at Place Jacques Cartier, where a troupe of senior citizens in traditional garb performed a lively folk step that drew spontaneous applause from passers-by, a reminder that the celebration spans generations. The scent of fresh maple taffy drifting from a nearby vendor mingled with the sound of accordions, creating a sensory snapshot of the province's heritage. As the final float, a massive wooden sculpture of a snow goose, glided past, children squealed and reached out, their excitement echoing the collective pride of a community that, for a few hours, turned a busy street into a shared living tableau. It's moments like these that stitch the fabric of our city tighter together.
Thank you, Montreal, for joining us on the lunch break. Tonight's highlight, watching the Harmonium reunite on stage for Quebec's national holiday, reminded us why music matters. Stay tuned for more stories tomorrow. We'll be back at noon with fresh insight and local perspective. See you then.